Hey, my loves. Gonna let y'all know right now, this is gonna be a long video. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but it's gonna be a long video. Okay? It's gonna be educational. So sit tight. Hear me out. Open up your notebooks because we are gonna get into this and we're talking about the spiritual understanding behind doing spiritual work in hoodoo practice. Okay? Because many of y'all are over here wanting to do spiritual work, but yet you don't understand the spirituality behind it. Or you could say the science behind how spirit moves or how things move when it comes to doing spiritual work in hoodoo practice. So let's dive on in. And before anyone says anything, no, I am not making this complicated. If you take a step back and observe how spiritual work is done in hoodoo practice, you will understand this cycle when it comes to our work. All right? I'm just taking the time to talk about it because usually I keep this kind of information to myself. But you know what? I'm going to give y'all 25% of it. But the rest of the way, y'all are just going to have to grow into, discover on your own, or just wait until it clicks. All spiritual work in hoodoo abides by a cycle. It do. It has its own life cycle. Just like how we have our own life cycle. Just like how everything in creation has a cycle. Everything abides by this cycle. Everything from your everyday life all the way to the personal, interpersonal healing that you do with yourself. Okay? And we're going to start off with square one, and that is birth. Spiritual work and hoodoo practice starts here, birth. This is the constructing of your work, the crafting of your work. Okay? This is where you gather the ingredients. This is where you take a step back and actually assess time, position of the sun and moon. No, not pertaining to Western astrology, pertaining to where is the sun sitting in the day? What phase is the moon in? What season are we in? What time is it? Okay, what day we're in. Now, here's the interesting thing about hoodoo practice. If you don't have the luxury to be able to plan all that out, you can easily omit it. Because if your need is now, then honey, you need us now. Also, don't forget, divination is part of the birthing process. Always consult your ancestors to be able to figure out what work that you need to be doing in the moment. After you already constructed the physical incarnation of the work that you're going to be doing, aka birthing that work, then comes the life of the work. This is where you usually would feed the work, do the prayers. Yes, in the birthing process, you do the prayers. You do instruct your roots and herbs to be able to do what it needs to. Animal parts, if you're using animal parts. Life of the work. This is where you continue the feeding. This is where you may continue to do prayers. Most spiritual works in hoodoo takes days to do. It's not just light a candle and let it rip. Honey, no. You're usually praying. You're usually giving song. And a variety of other things in correspondence to your work. All right, for a number of days. Minimum 3 days usually is what it takes for the fastest working in hoodoo. The life of the work. Do not neglect that. Now, this is the portion that normally trips people up. The death of the work. The death of the work. Because, for example, let's take a candle. You create a candle using a candle for working. Okay, you birth the work. You have your roots and herbs and everything. You light it, basically bringing it to life. You birthed it. You brought it to life. You're praying over it. You're feeding it. The candle dims down. It goes out. The candle is done. There's no more wax for it to burn. The death of the work. Okay, most people will stop here and think, okay, throw the candle away. The candle's done. No, baby. No. You do not throw the work in the trash. It still has another phase it needs to go. This is where the understanding of the different places of power in hoodoo come in, where you take the work and you root the work in said place of power in correspondence to said work that you do. This is where you hand the work off to your ancestors in the realm of spirit so the work can continue. Now, after handing the work off to your ancestors in the realm of spirit, this is where you basically let go and you let God. Let go and let God. You just handed it off to your ancestors. Let them work it in the unseen realms. Don't worry about it. You already went through the whole process, birthing it, giving it life, moving it through the transition and handing it off. Let go and let God at this point. This is where they take over and they handle it. Don't worry about this portion. All right? Because from here, it is returned back to you. From the realm of spirit, the work is reborn and returned back to you in your reality or in the reality of others if you're doing work for or on others. It's returned back to you. And then the cycle renews itself, repeating itself all over again in conjunction with the work that you are doing to get the desired result in which you're looking for. Here's the interesting thing about spiritual work and hoodoo practice. The cycle is not always straightforward. Sometimes the work is already being done by your ancestors in the realm of spirit. And if that's the case, depending on what they need, they might not need you to lift a hand whatsoever because they're already working it. They are already working it. Cycles within cycles. They're already working it. Sometimes, however, they will instruct you to create, craft, and birth a physical manifestation of said work that they're already doing to help empower what they are trying to do for you even further. Returning it back to them and bringing something to you that is tenfold much more potent than what they were already doing in the realm of spirit. Okay? So why is it that with some folks that practice hoodoo, their work just seems to move quite rapidly on this cycle? There's 3 reasons here. 1, again, it's already in the realm of spirit. And when you get to the point of birthing it and actually giving the work life, that way it can actually move, honey is already received because it was already being done in the realm of spirit. 2, the relationship. Some folks' relationship with their ancestors and with spirit and their relationship with God, the God of their understanding, whatever their higher power may be, is a deep one. Thus, they don't require much when it comes to the birthing process. It don't require much when it comes to giving life, feeding life to be able to do their work. It doesn't require much to be able to pass it off to their ancestors in the realm of spirit. It doesn't require much. And that comes with time, that comes with experience, that comes with dedication, once again. Simply put. And third, when it comes to elder hoodoo practitioners, they understand one fundamental principle that takes time to get to. The very fact that they're living and breathing. They understand that they are the word. And that everything that they do is a manifestation of the word. And it's as simple as that. I hope this helps y'all. I omitted a good amount of information when it comes to this understanding because I don't want to give away deep secrets. All right? But when it comes to root work, when it comes to hoodoo practice, root work, the understanding of the root of all things now. What is the root? The moment you understand that, trust me, the cycle of how spiritual work moves and operates in hoodoo practice, something we do on the daily, will click and will make sense. And trust me, your work will hit on such a deeper level than it did before. You thank me later now. I gave you a tidbit. May you figure out the rest of it in totality. Y'all have a great day now.